And welcome back. More news this hour here on News Central. Now, the federal government, through the National Identity Management Commission, has inaugurated a steering committee on the Nigeria Digital Identification for the Development of Ecosystem project. Secretary to the government of the Federation, George Akume, who led the inauguration of the steering committee in Abuja, said it signifies a pivotal step in Nigeria's commitments to achieving digital transformation and fostering inclusive development across the nation. He added that the project would revolutionize identification and access to service. On her part, Director General and Chief Executive Officer of NIMC, Abisoye Coker-Odusote, said the Digital Identity Project is to drive socio-economic development and empower the citizens. Now, to discuss this further, I'm being joined by a public affairs analyst, Oladende Ario. You're welcome, sir. Good to have you.
Good morning.
Good morning. I'm very fine, thank you. Nice of you to join us. So we've got a couple of questions for you. First question I'd be asking, what do you make of the inauguration of a steering committee by the NIMC for the Nigeria Digital Identification Project, adding to the already existing ones like the NIN, BVN, and other means of identification we already have?
Well, yesterday, when I saw the news report, I was laughing. When I say laughing, it wasn't the real laugh. I was crying, if you know what I mean. Why? Because that reflected incompetence and corruption. We already have passports. We have BVN. We have driver's license. We registered with telecom companies and so on. Even the permanent voter's card. Now, when you look at all of these bits and pieces, you will have expected a nation managed by competent people to know that, okay, if we want a uniform identification, we just have to merge all this together, okay? Instead of now creating another platform. Aren't we tired of wasting our scarce resources on things that will not aid national growth and development? In what ways are the people going to benefit? Especially where we are today, that inflation has practically taken off every income that people now manage to survive with. I would have expected government to think of something more beneficial, not this that I've tried to see or reason in what way are we going to benefit anything, and I couldn't see any. Beyond the fact that some people who just want to make money of Nigeria. And remember that we still have plans to have censors. So when you look at all of these things, I mean, it's very disturbing and annoying that you are in a society, in a country where people seem not to know their right from their left. And that's my position.
So you spoke about merging already existing formats that we already have. It's one thing to merge, it's another thing if they do work. So the question is, perhaps maybe the government is coming up with these new ideas because the existing ones are not providing the desired results, perhaps?
Well, there are apps in the marketplace that we can get off the shelf. They can help us do that job. Alternatively, Nigerians here in Nigeria, living here, young people that I know who can write a functional app that can achieve that for us while cleaning up multiple entries, okay? And also ensuring accuracy at the end of the day. But the question you want to ask yourself again is, I mean, those in authority and in power, are they saying that they do not know that we have such human capital within us? And even if they don't know, can't we just go outside and look for an enterprise or individuals who can help us to achieve all of these things, rather than now voting humongous sums of money for the same objective, and which for me is neither here nor there. It's not going to add any value to us. It's not going to aid our growth or development. Neither is it going to move us away from the economic doldrums that we are currently battling with. So it's best jettisoned. And then if they don't know what to do, let them call for memorandum. We will send the paper to them, telling them what to do and how to go about it.
So let's take a comparison between Nigeria, the Nigerian system, and outside the country. You've got social security numbers outside the country. It's like a digital footprint. Well, in Nigeria, do we get this system, is it like what we're trying to perhaps maybe put into play here? And is it going to be as effective as what we have outside the country? Is it just the absence of the sheer willpower to get this thing right that we lack?
You know, on Tuesday, I was on a TV platform, and it was the same question. When are we going to get things right? We're asking the same question now. And I can tell you that this question has remained a part of our nomenclature even before independence. And the word that is commonly used is to say potential. Potential. 60 years plus after, we are still a potential country. Potential in farming, in agri, in aviation, now in identification. It's very disturbing because most nations that we started with, they've left us behind. There was a time that UAE came to borrow money from Nigeria to develop Dubai. Today, the economy of Dubai, the city alone, is much bigger than that of our country. And they are much more in a comfortable position when you look around infrastructure and other details. So now is the time for us to get it right. Tomorrow may be too late.
So do you have any suggestions perhaps or specific strategies that you could put forward or suggest for the NIMC so that they can ensure that the project does not result in wastage or duplication of efforts?
Well, I think the NIN then had a lot of input, and I think it was widely affected across the country because I was living in an estate then. They not only came with their system, their computer and other things to capture everybody in our estate, they also cover the community, and we were about 23 estates in that community. So if that was achievable, perhaps that may need cleaning up instead of now going to venture, okay, to now say you are doing digital. All the ones we did, are they now saying that they were analog? Because all of these things, they beg common sense, and you cannot just find an answer to it. So it's best we go back and all the ones we have done, let's clean them up and not go further with voting humongous, because by the time they will give you the figure now, it may come to 1 trillion, which we can ill afford at this time in our national economic life.
Well, thank you very much, Mr. Oladende Ario. That was a good one with you.